The verdant terror. All right, gather round, because what I'm about to tell you is not for the faint of heart. It's a story that begins in the heart of the Amazon, where the wilderness is as beautiful as it is deadly. You see, I thought I was prepared for anything. I'd read up on survival tactics, watched every documentary I could get my hands on, but nothing could have prepared me for what awaited deep within the jungle. Our expedition started with the promise of uncovering ancient artifacts, lost to time amidst the lush vegetation. The moment we set foot on that rainforest floor, I could feel the intensity of the wild, the hum of life all around. Every step seemed to echo with the promise of discovery, and the scent of damp earth hung heavy in the air. As the days passed, we trekked deeper, the green canopy above growing thicker and more imposing. The calls of exotic birds and the rustling of unseen creatures became our soundtrack. It was enchanting in a way, but beneath the surface, a primal energy pulsed, a reminder that we were mere guests in this untamed realm. One morning, as the mist clung to the underbrush, we stumbled upon a clearing, an eerie expanse of gnarled trees and twisted vines. It felt like we'd entered another world entirely, a realm untouched by time. It was here that I first sensed a shift, a change in the atmosphere. The air grew still, and a foreboding sense of unease settled over our group. I could hear my own heart pounding in my chest as we pushed forward, determined to uncover the secrets this place held. But the deeper we ventured, the more I felt like an intruder, an unwelcome guest in this ancient domain. Suddenly, the silence was shattered by a cacophony of guttural growls and frenzied screeches. My blood ran cold as I turned to face a nightmarish sight, a horde of animals, eyes wild and frenzied, charging toward us with a madness that seemed to defy nature itself. Instinct took over, and I sprinted through the underbrush, my heart pounding in my chest. But the jungle seemed to conspire against me, every vine and root tangling at my feet. I could hear the cries of my companions, their terror echoing through the trees, but there was no time to look back. As the rabbit hole closed in, I could feel the hot breath of their snarling maws. Adrenaline surged through my veins, my mind racing for a way out. It was a nightmare come to life, a scene straight from a horror film. Just when I thought all hope was lost, I stumbled upon a hidden alcove, a small hollow in the ancient roots of a colossal tree. It was a stroke of luck, a glimmer of hope in the darkness. I pressed myself into the alcove, breath held, heart pounding, as the horde thundered past. Time seemed to stretch, each second an eternity, until at last the sounds of pursuit faded into the distance. I remained crouched in that alcove, unable to move, unable to process the nightmare that had just unfolded. Hours passed, and the jungle fell back into an uneasy quiet. I cautiously emerged from my hiding place, my senses heightened, every rustle of leaves sending a jolt of fear through me. My companions were nowhere to be seen, swallowed by the relentless green. I stumbled through the underbrush, a sense of dread settling over me. The jungle seemed to close in around me, as if it were alive, watching, waiting. It was a feeling of being hunted, of being at the mercy of a force beyond my understanding. And then, just as I thought I couldn't bear it any longer, I came upon a shocking sight. There, in a small clearing, stood my companions. They were alive, unharmed, their faces a mixture of relief and disbelief. It was a plot twist I hadn't seen coming. Somehow, they had found a way to evade the rabid horde, to navigate the treacherous terrain. They greeted me with wide-eyed astonishment, as if they'd seen a ghost. As we regrouped and made our way back to civilization, I couldn't shake the feeling of the jungle's malevolence, the sense that it had tested us, pushed us to our limits. It was a place of untold mysteries, a realm where the line between reality and nightmare blurred. So here I am, sharing this tale with you, a cautionary reminder that the wild is a force to be reckoned with, a realm of beauty and terror intertwined. The jungle is a place of unimaginable wonders, but it's also a realm where survival is never guaranteed. It's a lesson I learned the hard way, a reminder that sometimes the greatest horrors are the ones that lurk just beyond our understanding. Shadows of the canopy. All right, grab a seat, my friend, because what I'm about to share with you is a journey into the heart of darkness itself. Picture this, a dense, ancient jungle where every shadow holds a secret and the very air hums with an unspoken warning. It all began with the promise of adventure, but little did we know that we were about to embark on a descent into madness. As we trekked deeper into the verdant expanse, the sunlight dimmed, casting eerie, dappled patterns on the forest floor. The air grew heavy with the scent of earth and decay, and the calls of unseen creatures echoed through the trees. It was the kind of place that whispered secrets to those willing to listen. The first signs of trouble were subtle, nervous glances, furtive whispers that seemed to vanish on the breeze. It was as if the jungle itself was watching, waiting for the first crack in our resolve. We brushed it off, attributing it to the natural unease that comes with exploring the unknown. As the days passed, however, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. My companions, once eager and adventurous, grew increasingly silent, their eyes darting nervously at shadows only they could see. It was as if an invisible weight pressed down on their shoulders, a silent force that eroded their sanity. One night, as we set up camp beneath the sprawling canopy, I saw it, a fleeting glimpse of movement just beyond the edge of our campfire's glow. My heart pounded in my chest, and I grabbed my flashlight, determined to uncover the source. But when I stepped into the darkness, there was nothing, just the rustle of leaves and the distant calls of nocturnal creatures. As the days wore on, the sense of unease grew more palpable. My companions whispered in hushed tones, their voices tinged with paranoia. It was as if the jungle itself had seeped into their minds, casting shadows on their sanity. Then, one fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the forest fell into an inky blackness, all hell broke loose. I awoke to frantic shouts and the sound of scuffling. My heart raced as I fumbled for my flashlight, the beam revealing a nightmare I could scarcely believe. My companions had turned on each other, their eyes wide with terror, their faces twisted with madness. It was a frenzy of limbs and desperate cries, a scene straight from a nightmare. I could feel my own sanity teetering on the edge as I watched, paralyzed with horror. Instinct took over, and I fled into the night, the sounds of their frenzied struggle echoing in my ears. I didn't look back. I couldn't. It was as if the very fabric of reality had unraveled, leaving only chaos in its wake. I stumbled through the underbrush, my breath racked, my heart pounding in my chest. The jungle seemed to close in around me, the shadows taking on a life of their own. Every rustle of leaves, every distant call of an unseen creature, seemed like a cruel taunt. Hours passed, though it felt like an eternity. The jungle had become a labyrinth of twisted vines and looming shadows, each step a battle against the encroaching darkness. I could feel the weight of isolation, the understanding that I was utterly alone in this unforgiving realm. Just when I thought I couldn't bear it any longer, I stumbled upon a small clearing, bathed in the silvery light of the moon. In the center stood an ancient, gnarled tree, its roots winding into the earth like the fingers of some forgotten deity. It was a surreal oasis in the midst of the chaos, a sanctuary in the heart of madness. I collapsed at the base of the tree, my breath coming in racked gasps. The world seemed to spin around me, the sounds of the jungle muffled by the pounding of my own heart. I knew that I couldn't stay here forever, that I had to find a way out, but for now, the tree offered a respite from the horrors that lurked just beyond. As the night wore on, I couldn't shake the feeling that the jungle was alive, a malevolent force that watched and waited. It was as if the very essence of the forest had turned against us, a testament to the unforgiving nature of the wild. And then, just as I thought I couldn't bear it any longer, a new realization washed over me. I was not alone. In the distance, I could see them, the shadows of my fallen companions, their forms flickering in and out of the darkness. It was a haunting sight, a reminder of the horrors that had unfolded. As I stared into their vacant eyes, a sense of dread settled over me. Whatever had taken hold of them, whatever had driven them to madness, still lurked in the depths of the jungle. It was a force beyond my understanding, a malevolence that defied explanation. And so, here I am recounting this tale to you, a cautionary reminder that the wild is a realm of untold mysteries, a place where the line between reality and nightmare blurs. The jungle is a force to be reckoned with, a realm where survival is never guaranteed. As I sit beneath the ancient tree, I can't help but wonder what awaits me in the depths of the darkness. The shadows seem to dance and shift, whispering secrets that I can't quite comprehend. It's a feeling of being watched, of being at the mercy of a force beyond my understanding. So heed my words, my friend, and remember that there are places in this world where the line between reality and nightmare is razor thin. The jungle is a realm of beauty and terror intertwined, a place where the shadows hold secrets that may never be revealed. And as I sit here, gazing into the depths of the canopy, I can't help but wonder if I will ever escape this living nightmare. Echoes of the forgotten. All right, gather round, my friend, because I'm about to take you on a journey that you won't soon forget. It all started in the heart of a jungle so thick, the trees seemed to swallow the very sunlight. The air hung heavy with moisture, and every step was a venture into the unknown. From the moment we set foot on that untamed soil, I knew this expedition was like no other. The jungle seemed to pulse with an ancient energy, as if it held secrets that time itself had forgotten. It was both exhilarating and unnerving, like being on the edge of a precipice, unsure of what lay beyond. As we ventured deeper, the verdant world closed in around us. Vines twisted and curled, their tendrils reaching out like the fingers of a forgotten spectre. The calls of exotic birds echoed through the trees, a symphony of nature's mysteries. It was beautiful in its own wild, untamed way. The first oddity we stumbled upon was a peculiar stone, its surface etched with symbols that seemed to shimmer in the dappled light. I couldn't shake the feeling that it held a significance beyond our understanding. My fingers traced the grooves, the cool touch sending a shiver down my spine. With every step, we discovered stranger and stranger objects, ancient idols half buried in the earth, carvings that seemed to depict scenes from a forgotten mythology, and relics that pulsed with an energy I couldn't quite explain. It was as if the jungle itself was guiding us, leading us deeper into its enigmatic heart. As we pressed on, the air grew thick with a sense of anticipation, as if the very ground beneath our feet held its breath. We stumbled upon a clearing, and there, amidst the towering trees, stood a structure unlike anything I'd ever seen. It was a testament to the skill and artistry of an ancient tribe, its walls adorned with intricate carvings that seemed to come alive in the dappled light. My heart raced as I stepped inside, the air heavy with the weight of centuries. The walls seemed to hum with a low rhythmic energy, as if the very essence of the tribe still lingered within. It was both awe-inspiring and unsettling, like standing on the threshold of a forgotten realm. As I explored further, I couldn't help but wonder about the people who had built this place, the stories they must have told, the rituals they must have performed. It was a glimpse into a world long gone, a window into a time when the jungle was not a place of mystery, but a home. But as the hours passed, a creeping sense of unease settled over me. It was as if the very walls of the structure were closing in, a suffocating weight pressing down on my chest. I could hear my own breath echoing in the silence. the sound sharp and hollow against the ancient stone. Then, just as I was about to turn and leave, I heard it, a faint whisper, a murmur that seemed to rise from the very walls themselves. It was a sound that chilled me to the bone, a voice from the depths of the past, speaking a language I couldn't understand. Fear gripped me, my heart pounding in my chest. I turned to leave, but the entrance seemed to have vanished, replaced by an unyielding wall of stone. Panic set in, my breath coming in racked gasps. I was trapped, alone in this cursed structure, with no way out. As I frantically searched for an exit, the whispers grew louder, a chorus of voices that seemed to echo through the very stones. They spoke of ancient rites, of dark rituals, of a power that should never have been awakened. It was a tale of hubris and consequence, a warning from a time long past. And then, just as I was about to surrender to the suffocating darkness, a glimmer of hope. I spotted a faint outline on the far wall, a hidden passage, concealed by centuries of neglect. With renewed determination, I pressed forward, my fingers brushing against the cool stone. The passage led me deeper into the heart of the structure, the air growing colder and more oppressive with every step. The whispers grew louder, their words a cacophony of warning and despair. It was as if the very walls were trying to dissuade me, to send me back from whence I came. But I couldn't turn back. I had to know, had to uncover the truth that lay hidden within this cursed place. And so, with trembling hands and a heart heavy with dread, I pressed on, the darkness closing in around me. And then, at last, I reached the heart of the structure, a chamber bathed in an otherworldly light. Before me stood an altar, its surface etched with symbols that pulsed with a faint, eerie glow. It was a sight that defied explanation, a convergence of the ancient and the supernatural. As I approached, I could feel the energy in the air, a hum that seemed to resonate with my very soul. It was a force beyond my understanding, a power that had been dormant for centuries, waiting for the right moment to awaken. And then, just as I reached out to touch the altar, a blinding light filled the chamber, a force that seemed to emanate from the very stones themselves. I was lifted from my feet, suspended in a whirlwind of energy and light. It was a sensation both exhilarating and terrifying, like being at the mercy of a force beyond my control. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, it was over. I found myself standing back in the clearing, the structure behind me reduced to rubble. It was as if the jungle itself had reclaimed its secret, erasing all traces of the cursed place. As I stood there, catching my breath, I couldn't help but wonder about the power that had been unleashed, the force that had slumbered for centuries. It was a reminder that some mysteries are not meant to be unraveled, that there are forces in this world that defy explanation. And so, as I share this tale with you, I do so as a warning, a cautionary reminder that there are places in this world where the line between reality and the supernatural is razor thin. The jungle is a realm of ancient secrets, a place where the past and the present converge. And as I stand here, gazing at the ruins of that cursed structure, I can't help but wonder what other mysteries lie hidden within the heart of the wild.